The International Monetary Fund has appealed to India to reverse its decision to restrict the export of certain types of rice. According to the world body, the ban could lead to a spike in food prices across the globe. The IMF has warned that even without the restrictions, grain prices could rise by 10 to 15% this year.
The past few days have been hectic for Indians in the West. The government's move to ban non-Basmati rice exports has sparked panic buying from Australia to the US, from Canada to Germany. Social media sites are replete with videos of sacks of rice flying off the shelves in stores. Images of long queues outside Indian grocery stores are going viral on the internet. Stores have been imposed buying limits, with some hiking prices exorbitantly to cash in the frenzy. Elsewhere in the corridors of the International Monetary Fund, there are fears that the Indian ban on rice exports will only exacerbate the already high food price inflation. The IMF said India's restrictions would have a similar effect as the suspension of the Ukraine Black Sea grain export deal and will drive up food prices worldwide.
Current environment, these types of restrictions are likely to exacerbate volatility on food prices in the rest of the world, and they can also lead to retaliatory measures. So they are certainly something that we would encourage the removal of these type of export restrictions, because they can be harmful globally. And we're still assessing where we're going to land, but we would be thinking that somewhere in the range of 10–15% increase in prices of grains is a reasonable estimate, although we'll have to see exactly how this is going to unfold.
India accounts for more than 40% of world rice exports, and low inventories with other exporters mean any cut in shipments could inflate food prices already driven up by Russia's invasion of Ukraine last year and erratic weather. The government meanwhile restricted non-Basmati exports due to a 3% month-on-month rise in prices and 11.5% increase in retail prices over a year. IMF did, however, have some good news for India. The multilateral global body increased India's growth rate estimate this year by 20 basis points to 6.1%.
Is a country with growth very strong and continuing to be strong. It's about 1/6 of total global growth is accounted for by India this year, and inflation is back inside the target range in our estimates. For 2023, we have a forecast of 6.1% growth for India. That's well above the regional average of 5.3%. It's moderating after a very strong 2022. But we have an upside revision of 0.2 percentage points for 2023, and that's really the knock-on effect of a very strong ending for 2024 with government and private investment.
The IMF also had a word of warning on global inflation, which it said was declining faster than expected but was not out of the woods yet. It also had concerns about central bank rates, which are at their highest in several years.
Monetary policy is already taking a chunk out of economic activity. We're seeing the increase in interest payments. We're seeing the contraction in lending. We're seeing signs that the economy is cooling off, and that's going to help bring down the sort of underlying inflation pressures back to central bank targets. So it's already had some effect and will continue to have some effect. Now,
there was another big warning from the IMF. It said international trade and manufacturing indicators were down and that savings accumulated during the COVID pandemic were declining, leaving fewer buffers to withstand future shocks. This was especially a case in advanced economies like the United States. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.